Hi guys. So we came from America, from New York, and we were in Cape Town, and then for Shabbos we were part of the Shabbos project, and today we went yesterday and today we went to Kruger, and we saw most of the big five, we saw some of the little five, we saw some of the ugly five, and we just had a class in the base, so now I have the honor of being together with you for a short bit. I want to share with you a very interesting idea. So, the patriarch of the Jewish people, who's the first Jew? Avraham Avinu. Anybody know how long he lived? 175 years. Yeah? And this week's parasha talks about the passing of Avraham Avinu, and it said Avraham Avinu passed away at 175 years old. He was old and he was happy. Zakein v'saveya, old and satisfied with his life. Here's the problem. The problem is, no kidding, he was satisfied with his life, because if you look in the Chumash, it says that Avraham Avinu was given by God everything. God blessed Avraham with everything. So the only reason we would think that people are not happy in life is because they don't have everything. But if you would just have everything, then you would be happy. So why would the Torah need to say, Avraham Avinu died happy? No kidding, he died happy. It's because he had everything he needed. If I would have everything, if you would have everything, if she would have everything, we would also be happy. So like, big deal that Avraham was happy, it's because he had everything. So we learn from here something very important, that in this world, you could have everything and still not be happy. Now that's a very important phenomenon to study, okay? The Talmud teaches us that there's a human condition. It's called Mi sheyesh lo maneh. If you have 100 rand, rotza masayim, you want 200. Yesh lo masayim, you have 200 rand, you want 400. Meaning, the human condition is that the more you have, the more you want. So it's a very big novelty to say that Avraham Avinu died happy, because despite the fact that he had everything, that doesn't necessarily mean he would be happy, because just because somebody has everything, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're happy. So I want to share with you something very interesting. Do you think that most people in this world are fully satisfied and happy with their life? Let's take a little poll. We're going to take like a little Gallup poll over here. Okay, raise your hand if you think that most people in this world are completely happy. Raise your hand if you think most people in this world are not completely happy. Okay. Raise your hand if you think more than 70% of people in this world are not happy. More than 80%. Raise your hand if you think more than 90% of people in this world are not happy with their lot in life. That's the truth. Most people are not. Why? Why do you think that is? That's a very important phenomenon to study. Because let's say you give a cow enough grass and a shady spot under a tree. Will the cow be happy? Yes. For how long will the cow be happy? Indefinitely, forever and ever and ever. If the cow has enough grass, enough water, and a shady spot under a tree, the cow will be happy forever. But if you give a human being good health, $1 million a year, and a beautiful home and a beautiful car and a beautiful family, will the person be completely happy? Yes or no? Absolutely not. Why would that be? Does anybody have any idea why would that be? Can anyone explain that phenomenon? I mean, who created the cow? Who created a cow? Hashem. God. Who created animals? God. Who created the sun? God. God created everything so perfectly. You know, it's really amazing. You know, I read, we were in Cape Town and we saw penguins. Penguins need to drink water, just like I need to drink water. And I'm going to drink some water. I made a bracha before. Anyway, penguins need to drink water. However, could they drink water from the ocean? No, can't drink any water in the ocean. Anybody know why? Why can't they drink water from the ocean? Because there's salt in it. You know, when Christopher Columbus sailed to America, the expression was, water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Why? Because you can't drink ocean water. So what do penguins drink? You know that penguins have a gland in their nose, a desalination gland. You know what desalination is? Let's say in the state of Israel, it doesn't always rain enough, and you can't drink the water of the Mediterranean, so they build machines that take the salt out of the Mediterranean. So they send the water through the machine removes the salt, then you could drink the water. Penguins have a gland where they get the water in their system, and the gland takes the salt out of the water. What it took the state of Israel like billions of dollars to figure out, the penguin has that little gland machine in their system. I mean, everything about creation is perfect. Did you know that? How long could you last without oxygen? You can't, right? Maybe 2 minutes, maybe less. How about a baby? Does the baby breathe, a baby in his mother's womb, does the baby breathe in oxygen? Anybody know? No, of course not. What happens? The mother breathes in the oxygen goes into the mother's blood, the blood goes into the baby already has oxygen in it, so the baby doesn't need to breathe. Now, a little science, okay? Bear with me for a minute. You ready? You good? Okay. The blood goes into the right atria, typically, the right ventricle. It's pumped out of the right ventricle. Usually in a regular human being, it's sent to the lungs so that the lungs oxygenate the blood. Then after the blood is oxygenated, it goes to the left atria and the left ventricle and then to the rest of the body. But in a baby, the baby's not breathing through its lungs. So you know, in the heart of a baby, there's a hole between one side of the heart and the other, so that the blood could just pass from one side of the heart to the other because it doesn't have to get sent to the lungs. But when the baby is born, that hole has to be sealed shut. If the hole is not sealed shut, it cannot even last a short amount of time if the hole is too big. Anybody know who seals shut the heart of a baby? Every baby in its mother's womb has a little hole in it. Who seals that hole shut? You think when the baby is born, they send it to the surgeon, and the surgeon closes the heart? God makes a miracle. What does the baby do the second it's born? It screams. That creates pressure in the cavity of the baby, and the pressure seals the heart shut. Doctors can't explain, like, who came up with, who made this process. Everything about the creation of this world is perfect. But here's the problem. Whoever created man, it seems like they messed up. Doesn't it? Because if the Creator is so wise and so intelligent and everything is with such great plan and purpose, then why would God make man unhappy? Do you think it's good for man to be unhappy? Why do you think people do bad things in this world? People take substances, people have addictions. Why do you think? What's the cause of it? They're not happy. So why would the Creator, how did He make such a big mistake? Do you think that's an important question? That's one of the central questions in life. Why does God make us not satisfied in this world? And why are we unsatisfied? You ready for this? Here's the answer. You see, when God created man, man is a very interesting being. Man is a physical being. We saw a lot of animals today. We saw giraffes. We saw impalas. We saw kudus. You know what a kudu is? I even went after Kruger, I went to the chauffeur factory. I got the horn. Okay. They have good prices here, because if you go to New York and you want to buy the same horn, it's like triple the price. That's why I came. If you spend $5,000 to come to South Africa, you could save $5 on the horn, so it's worth it. Anyway, we saw a lot of animals. What are animals? They're physical beings. Yeah, Yoni. Animals, they're physical beings. Do they have a soul? They have no soul. But man is not an animal. Man is not a kudu. When God made man, He took a physical body. The physical body of man is like an animal. and he blew into this physical body a soul. Now, if you ever blow a balloon, the Zohar teaches, the Kabbalah teaches, that when you blow into something, you blow from within yourself. So when God blew our soul into us, he blew from within himself, which means that the human soul is a piece of God. It's a piece of the divine. So basically, what are we? We're a physical animal that has in us a divine spark. Here's the thing. So we come down to this world, and it's a big struggle. Because our physical body, what do you guys like to eat? Food. Yeah, very good, excellent. They eat food in South Africa. What do you guys like to eat? Sushi. Yeah, I got it, okay. Your body likes to eat sushi. The thing is, the soul has no interest in physical pleasure. I'll give you the following analogy. So, there is a princess who grew up in the palace. And in the palace, she has a team of 30 chefs making the most delicious cuisine. And when she eats her meal, there's like a 20-piece orchestra playing music. And there are fine tapestries surrounding her. And she eats, and she's wined and dined in the most elegant setting. And somehow she meets this peasant in the forest, and he proposes to her, and they get married. And he now brings her to his house. He lives in a hut in the forest, and he wants to make her happy. So what does he do? He says, I'm going to make you the most delicious meal. And he has this disgusting pot, and he throws 2 potatoes in it, and an onion, and some celery, and he's mixing it up. And she's like, what in the world are you cooking? And he pours her some of this disgusting food, and she says, this is not food. And she's sitting on this rickety chair, and the house is dilapidated, and there's nothing he could do to make her happy. You know why? Because she's used to a higher currency. She's used to a much bigger, greater currency. So none of these potatoes and celery and beans make her happy. She's used to cuisine. I like to bang a lot, sorry. So, the body is like an animal. The body likes food. The body likes physical pleasure. The thing is, we also have a soul. And the soul gets no benefit from physical pleasure. So you could eat from today and eat the best foods. It will make your body happy, and there'll be something inside of you, which is a very dominant part of you. It does nothing for it. And the soul's like, get me out of here. I want real currency. I want real pleasure. And there's no physical pleasure that gives the soul any happiness. So you say, well, then God messed up by giving us the soul, because he put the soul in this world, and there's nothing that gives the soul any pleasure. So we're stuck here in misery because our physical bodies enjoy this world, but the spiritual soul gets no benefit from it. The answer is, God did us the biggest favor in the world by giving us a soul. You know why? Because there's something inside of us that says there's more to this world than just physical pleasure. The soul is looking for a higher currency. You know what the higher currency is? It's called divine pleasure. And that is learning Torah and doing mitzvahs. And that is the only thing that will give your soul pleasure in this world, and happiness and satisfaction. So basically, now you'll say, if you just learn Torah and you just do mitzvahs, your body's not going to be happy. So the balancing act of life is to learn how to treat properly your body and your soul. And that recipe can only be accomplished through the handbook. Now, it's very interesting. I came to Kruger. I know you South Africans, you don't do this, right? When you go to Kruger, you take malaria medication? No. Nah, that's for wimps. That's like for wimpy Americans, right? But wimpy Americans, when they go to Kruger, we have to medicate ourselves because, they scare the living daylights out of us that the bug is going to eat you and you're going to turn into a mosquito or something. Yeah? Now, the malaria medication comes with instructions. This little piece of paper, you whip it out and you have to read like a whole Megillah. Even though the only thing you need to do is put it in your mouth and swallow it. But it's an important thing, so it's going to come with instructions. So the most important thing in this world is life. So you would think, if God created us, and it's a dangerous world, because here we are, we're a physical being that gets no pleasure from just physical pleasure because we have a soul, you would think it would be a good idea if we had some kind of instruction book of how to have some type of happiness in this world. Where's the instruction book? The answer is, God came down and He gave the Jewish people an instruction book, and it's called the Torah. The Torah is here to make you happy. That's all. It's here to make you happy. It's here to make you happy in this world. It's here to make you happy in the next world. It teaches you how to eat, how to sleep, how to talk, how to think in a way where you could balance the needs of your body and your soul. And it gives you, it's a recipe for happiness in this world, and it's a recipe for success in the next world. But actually God did us a very big favor, because again, at first glance you would think He made a big mistake by putting us in a world with a soul that gets no benefit from this world. I mean, it's like we're overqualified, yeah? The human being is overqualified for this world because He gave us this neshama, and the neshama doesn't enjoy this world. But actually it's a very big chesed, it's a big favor. Because if God would have made us like a cow, then imagine we would sit here for 70 years eating poppers or pizza, and then we would wake up and say, hey, I didn't accomplish anything in this world. I didn't do what I needed to do. So God gave us a soul. The soul makes us feel, so to speak, empty unless we give it spiritual nourishment. So actually, the fact that human beings are not naturally happy is not a mess up. It's the greatest perfection of the human being, because it's our reminder that there's more to this world than just servicing our physical senses. And we have to thank every day that Hashem gave us a Torah, and we have to embrace it, and we have to cherish it, and we have to learn it. And learning, you're not learning Torah for God, and you're not learning Torah for your rabbi, and you're not learning Torah for your father, and you're not doing it for your mother. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your own happiness and success in this world and in the world to come. So I thank you very much for your kind attention tonight, and it's a pleasure to see all of you, and I wish you a lot of success in all of your endeavors. Thank you very much.